Well, hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm Tia Knapp, and I'm thrilled to pieces to be here with my good friend, Dr. Michael Gross. Say
Hello,
hi, Mike.
everyone. So nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
We are really super excited. It's hat day. No, that's
Having
not.
fun.
I thought I'd try one on for change because I love Michael's hat, but that's not why we're here, okay? We're here because Michael has this phenomenal message for all of you. And so I'm going to go ahead and introduce him really quickly. And then I'll put all the contact information in the comments so that you'll be able to connect with Michael later. Okay, so here we go, Michael. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm thrilled to pieces to introduce to you Dr. Michael Gross. He's a professional keynote speaker, an energy transformational coach, an entrepreneur, and the author of the Spiritual Primer, applying God's 12 transformational laws to reawaken your soul by reconnecting to God, the true source, to experience your true source's love, joy, and happiness. He helps you achieve an unlimited life, and he's certainly done that for me. For over 30 years, Dr. Michael Gross has been a spiritual teacher, a multidimensional healer, a transformational coach, and mentor who is exceptionally skilled in all aspects of soul, oversoul, vibrations, frequencies, body timing, life force energies, and so much more. Dr. Michael Gross holds many degrees, some of which include a doctorate of alternative healing psychology. He's a Reiki master teacher, a thought field therapist, a certified professional hypnotherapist, and a non denominational minister. Dr. Michael Gross offers workshops including reconnecting to God, the true source, cellular release, manifestation protocols, energy multidimensional healing, enlightenment, and many others. He is also an international intuitive consultant for corporations and has traveled over half the world. His clients are in USA, Australia, New Zealand, South America, Asia, and other countries. His messages are now even being heard in the Baltic countries, Sweden, and South Korea. Dr. Michael Gross has also completed the formation of a 501c3 nonprofit, and I will hopefully, Michael, you'll be able to tell the people more about the nonprofit before we leave tonight, okay? We have only 30 minutes or so that we're here, so we honor your time. We're very grateful for your time, and I'm going to go ahead and mute and put your contact information in the comments, okay? Take it away,
Thank you,
Michael.
everyone. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it so much. Something I desire to address to you. So, for those who may be watching this later, this is August and the year is 2024. And I thought I'd share with you that there are major shifts coming and many energy changes. And as I say, we're all energy, so we respond to energy, feelings, emotions, things that are going around us. And these are the days where there's so much chaos and uncertainty. And here we in the United States are going to go through a presidential election, and there's so much rhetoric going on both sides. Setting that aside, I would like to address something that's so important, and that is critical thinking. Critical thinking demands and says that you have the ability to discern positive, negative, right from wrong, and so on. And of course, what is going on with AI, which is artificial intelligence, it is such that you don't know whether it's the truth or it's manipulated or whatever. And it's also so important that we be able to discern that. I remember 6 months ago on AI, I watched Morgan Freeman, and he's one of my favorite actors. And then the man that was doing it, his lips were moving the whole 10 yards. It was Morgan Freeman's voice. And then he removed part of the camera, and it was a man pretending to be him. The words he gave, or Morgan Freeman was saying, were really words of wisdom. But it's so dangerous because we don't know. We do not know fact from fiction. Therefore, critical thinking is so important. It's also so important for us to realize that whatever we watch in the press, whether it's the news, the flood, volcano, election time, foreign country, whatever it is, use discernment because the news today is no longer really the news for the most part. It's someone's opinion. Well, I really have no objection to that, giving your opinion. Of course, free will and free choice, and you can say whatever you want to say, and it's up for me, to believe it or not. But when you say it's the news and it's bias in anything that's going on, then fact from fiction becomes very difficult. And not only that, but towards the end of the year, there's going to be a shift to what we call more spirituality. And as I understand, I'm not an astrologer in 25 and 26. Towards the end of 24, the lineup of the planets are going to be the same as when we have the American Revolution and the French Revolution, and it could extend even further. So if I make a mistake and there's an astrologer watching me, please correct me. I have no problems. I'd rather be right than wrong and say, hey, I misunderstood something. My ego's not that big. But truly, my concern is for all of you, not only you, but for myself, is how we're going to navigate the rough waters of the months and years to come. And more importantly, there's an affirmation that I would like to suggest all of you to use, and that is, I'm of this planet and not in the negative emotion of this planet. That's so important because there's so chaos. And we're so divided on everything. And so everybody's offended if you say something that offends them or you disagree with them. And it's okay for you to say, well, it offends me. Can we change the subject? That's no problem. That they vehemently attack you, you're offending me, you're going to make me nervous, upset, I might commit suicide, and they accuse you of all this stuff. That what is happening is we're being shut down to express ourselves. And that's what we need to understand. And I'm going to be a little bizarre here because I don't want somebody to say I'm opinionated. But if we turn around, and I dislike Brussels sprouts, I dislike them. And if I was talking to a Brussels sprouts grower, how can you say that? You're offending me. You're making me nervous and sick. But I have the right to say I didn't like Brussels sprouts. But I remember one time I went over to a friend's house and he was serving Brussels sprouts. What am I going to say, right? So I would normally take one or two and drink a lot of wine or water to get it down. And he had roasted it with bacon. And I tasted it. It was delicious. So it just shows you we can be flexible. I use that bizarre example because nothing is constant. There's nothing constant in our life. There's only change in our life. And we can go along with the change or we can sit there and fight it. And if you want to sit there and fight it, what happens? You become upset, you become angry, and your temper, you begin to lose your temper, and so on and so forth. And what we're losing one another is we're losing respect for one another. And there's two types of respect. You respect and honor who the person is. You respect their opinion. And you can say, I respect your opinion, but I disagree, and this is my feelings. And if you can't meet in the middle, say, let's agree to disagree and go out and have a hamburger or have an iced tea or whatever, and just shake hands or give a hug and move forward. Because there was an old thing they used to say, you never talk politics, you never talk religion. You don't talk about that. Because people, may be passionate and get accepted. And again, you be careful what you say in the restrooms because you never know who's behind the stall and where you work may be hearing some thoughts. So those were the three major things, we were warned of at all times. But it's really important if you want to express a belief about something, and that's good, then express. This is what I believe, this is my opinion, and I thought I'd share this with you. That's the key word, you're just sharing. And the person could say, well, I don't believe you, blah, blah. Well, thank you for sharing me your opinion. So let's change the subject. But I remember Maxine Waters, who is from the House of Representatives in the state of California. And she was opinionated against Trump, which she's entitled to. But she was saying, F Trump, F Trump, F Trump. And got, whoa, he's the president. You can dislike him. I'm cool. But you don't use that kind of languaging. But that's what's beginning to happen now. We say anything we want. We don't care if it offends you. And then when you say something back to them, they get offended. So it's like, okay, if I say it, but you can't offend me. So how do we navigate the waters? Again, thank you for sharing. Let's change the subject. And if they refuse to, say, well, listen, I got to get going and we can discuss this at a later date. And they may accuse you of walking away, and don't answer them. It's so important. The worst thing we can do is get into an argument because Spirit said you can't argue with stupid. And maybe that'll offend somebody. And by the meaning stupid is that the other person is not open to listening. They're too busy arguing and standing on their points. You have the right to express yourself. I have the right to believe you or disbelieve you. Now, why am I going to such depth? Because the passion and energy that's going on this planet is touching each one of us. And I liken that. Remember when I said you go to a party and you're tired and everybody's up, you get up, or you go to a party, you're happy and everybody's depressed. That energy is throwing you off balance. You have chakras, you have frequencies, you have vibrations. And if you allow that to affect you, then you get angry, you get upset, you don't know what you're doing, or you don't want to talk to anybody. And then you come home and you're angry with the family, friends, or you're short tempered. So they got to you, whatever it is. How do I handle that how do I handle it? It is a very simple way to handle it. I just say, I turn this person over to the true source for perfect right action and correct exchange. What's the karma? No karma. You're just turning them over because you don't want to deal with it. For perfect right action, whatever is right for them. And correct exchange, which means positivity will come back. Or somebody could do that to you and they're welcome. But there's no karma attached. You're not wishing anything angry or sad. You're just saying right action. And maybe what they're doing is right action for them, but not for you, or vice versa. But in the days to come, we're going to become more divided in the world. It's already very divided. It's already so opinionated. It's already so much anger and frustration. And souls are not listening. They have not only tunnel vision, which means they only see what they want to see, but they have selective hearing. And in doing that, they're expressing themselves. Well, sometimes you need to unload. And many of the beautiful people I know and I work with, they say, well, I'm angry, and they just scream and yell, and I just listen to them, and they go, oh, I really feel better. But I don't take it personally. I know Tia wants to say something.
Yes, I had to unmute myself, Michael. I do. A long time ago, when I was a kid, my mother always said it takes two to have a fight. It takes two to make a war. It takes two to have a disagreement or an argument. So, it's better for us to walk away then, right? Not admit that we're at fault, right? But just accept everybody. And that's what I hear you're saying, right? Accept whatever they're telling us.
So all I would do is thank you very much. Let's change the subject. I feel uncomfortable with that. And if they keep going on, just say, well, I got to get going. And they say, why are you running away? And they'll yell and scream at you. But ignore them because you've declared what you believe. You haven't offended them. Maybe offended because you don't want to listen to them. But they have to respect your opinion. You're not saying anything nasty to them. But most importantly, when someone is screaming and yelling or being very aggressive to you, this is a tried and proven way. And in my years of teaching, what I would do with my students is I'd say, put them up in pairs. I'd say the first one, you scream and yell, call them a dirty sassafras, swear, just be angry with them. The other person on the receiving end just I asked the true source to send unconditional love to XYZ. Just repeat it in your mind. What happens is they rant and rave, and they all of a sudden stop. And then they reverse roles. So now you're the aggressor and the receiver, and they do the same thing. Well, they report to me at work, they had somebody that was really aggressive and they did that. Everyone told me the same story. When they were aggressive at work or personally, and they mentally said, I asked the true source to send you unconditional love. In a few minutes or less, they stop in the middle of the sentence and walk away. And a couple of days later, not everyone, but most of them came and apologized. Well, what does that tell you? That tells you that number one, The energy of love is so powerful, so healing. They may not realize what's happening, and I wouldn't tell them, by the way, because they'll try to resist harder and harder, and just realize that love is so powerful that nothing negative, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, can live in the energy of love. It has to be very positive, and we have to be aware of that. These really do work. And it's so powerful where I had family members where their son or daughter or mother or father would talk to them. I'd say, every night you go to sleep, ask the true source to send XYZ unconditional love. And I've seen relationships back come together in a couple of months. Sometimes it took a couple of years, but it's always they come back, they want to make friends, they want to express a relationship with you, they'll go, threaten you or whatever. The anger's gone. And you, who are on the receiving end, that person is finally talking to you. You need to compliment them and say, it probably was hard for you to do this. I'm so happy to hear from you. Don't criticize. It's about time you came around. It's this and that. You just lost them. Just be very, very reticent and say, thank you. I appreciate it. And just be that way. And they'll learn to even come back and love you even more. Because why? You're expressing the words of love. And what you need to do, and you must do, is try to have compassion for the other person, even though pushing your button and calling you every name under the book. They're calling it, you know why? Because they're so angry and they're so fearful that when they're yelling at you, they're trying to really feel good about what they're talking about. They're trying to find justification and they want you to justify it. Well, why do they want you to justify it? Because they're not sure themselves. They're not going to tell you they're not sure, but really that's the underlying cause. They're not sure of it, so they're looking for verification. I would not give them verification because you may disagree with them or you can agree with them, whatever, but always speak your truth. Must always speak our truth. And whatever is going on in our lives, the problem with, we sit back and watch situations all over the world happen. And then we turn them back and turn the other way. I don't want to get involved. I don't want any part of this. I don't want this. So that's what happened in Germany. And we saw what happened. That's what happened in Venezuela. And we know how bad Venezuela is, so bad right now. And we're looking at what's happened in China and in North Korea and in Cuba and so many other countries. That's what's happening because we didn't express ourselves in a very loving, positive way. And by keeping our mouth shut and looking the other way, what happens is we are giving license to those people, the political parties, whatever they may be, to do whatever they feel because nobody's complaining, so we could do that. There was a ship, and I forgot the name, they even did a movie, when the Jewish people during the Holocaust were put on a boat and Hitler let them through. And they went to country after country in the United States. Said, we don't want these Jewish people. We want any part of them. And every country turned their back. And they went back to Germany. Hitler took them in and started the concentration camps. Because nobody said that these are people. Forget their religion. They're human beings. They deserve love and joy and happiness. And that gave him the license to kill millions. Not only Jews, but other religions and so on and so forth. So you are being asked to be responsible for your emotions. Your soul is asking you. I'm just relating the information. And if you understand that you are being asked to do this, how do I weather the storm? How do I handle everything that's going on? How do I make changes? Well, not by your words, but by your actions shall you be known. It's an old biblical saying. You must be the role model for everything. And being the role model, even if they ignore you, they're going to think about how you handle it. Other people are going to be watching you. And they're going, I'm going to try this. And, we have the domino theory. 1, then it goes 2, then it goes 4. Pretty few, there are thousands, tens of thousands, so on and so forth. But first of all, we must do right action and correct exchange. We must search our soul and our feelings and our emotions to see what's right. But you innately know that's right. You know, some people would say, well, what do we do that's right? Well, you could use the Ten Commandments. That's a good example. But right action and correct exchange demands that you always do the right thing. Some people would say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Same thing, right action and correct exchange. And I often think about that when someone pushes my button. And then I think to myself, okay, my button is pushed. I can go the fight or flight or frozen. And then I stop and ask myself, so why am I this way? Or the true source? And you're mad at yourself, Michael, for putting yourself in that position that created the chaos in your life. You're not mad at them. You're mad at yourself, but you would rather pass the blame onto someone else. So when someone really gets mad at me and I feel angry with them, I go, yep, I put myself in that position and I allowed myself to be walked on. So I'm not really mad at them anymore. I'm really mad at me for allowing this to happen. As you think about this, more and more what I've said, you will make changes and you'll have less adversity in your life. Because remember, you are unlimited. You have to understand that. You can create in everything you do in your life. Because thoughts are things. You've heard that. Or as the true source said, what you think you create you experience. These are foods for thoughts. And I'll have more to talk about this. And remember, you are beautiful. You're created out of love, by love, from love, and with love. I don't care if your parents are divorced or whatever. Love is the energy that creates, and you, that energy, that frequency, that vibration, created your body and your life and everything that's going on now. And remember, because you're unlimited, reverse engineering, and you can heal or change anything in your life. You're not stuck. Your ego says you're stuck, but you know it deep in the souls. You can change and heal and recreate anything in your life. So think about that. I'd also like to talk about changing the subject about some items that are very, very dear to my heart. And every Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time is called Soul Awakening. And you call in and ask any questions you so desire. Hopefully, I can answer them. Even if you might know the answer, you might get a different slant or definition of it, or remind you of something. And then I leave a 10-minute message. So, what is the cost? Zero. It's not on freeconferencecall.com. And like I said, you can be in your pajamas, your bathing suit, nobody will know. In order to access that information, would you give them the telephone number, please?
Sure. The number is 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125-446-pound. One more time, please.
202-926-1059. And the code, Michael?
125-446-pound. Using the same telephone numbers, same codes to get in. In order for you to join me with something that's so important, the second Saturday of every month, it's called the Mass Consciousness Healing. It is so powerful. And it starts at 9:55 a.m. We talk for a few minutes. Some people show up a little late. And we go to 11:01. So it's 1 hour and 6 minutes. We're darn close to that within a minute or two of that. If you join us a little late, say like 10:01, 10:02, and there's silence, don't hang up. We're already in the meditation. And you will feel the energy of love. You become a conduit for the love. And I thought I'd share with you the last one we had, and that was in the month of August. And Jesus showed up. I saw him standing there. And then Lord Krishna showed up. And that is the beautiful soul of unconditional love. And some of the archangels showed up, and other angels showed up. I mean, it was just incredible. People felt this wonderful energy and this love throughout their body. And the way it is done is you run the energy of love through your body, which is healing, empowering, You cover the planet, the animal, mineral, vegetable kingdom, Mother Earth, and everything is covered in this beautiful energy of love. And to access that information, it's the same on Tuesday evening. So, to you, would you give them that number one more time?
The number is 202-926-1059. And the code, Michael?
125446 #. Now, there's something else, and that is what I call the replays or reruns, if you will. And all the podcasts that you and I do, every one of them, you can go, and also the important messages that I do, that's 392 messages. You can go to Dr. Michael B. Gross YouTube, and you can see the reruns, and some of it audible, so it'll be a beautiful photograph taken by the award-winning photographer T.U. Nash. T.U. Nash, yeah, T.U. Knapp. Oh, I'm floating. T.U. Knapp, and you will see a quote, and then you'll hear me speaking, or you will see live some of the podcasts. So I encourage all of you to Dr. Michael B. Gross YouTube, and you can get the opportunity to watch that. But let's supposing now you're in traffic, or you come home, you're angry, or you had a rough day at work. And all these messages, 392, soon to be 393, what happens if you were to listen to them, one or two or whatever, because they're only 10 minutes long, and afterwards you feel great. So to access that information, you can listen on the phone, in your car, when you're driving or whatever. Would you give them that information?
The recording number is 432-300-4170. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #.
I'll do that one more time. That number is 434-300-4170. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #. So when you call in, you're not going to know. And originally, I used to label them, a couple of them, but I forgot to do it. And then True Source Well said it was intentionally with your soul. Why? Michael, do you want to read through 393 labels about what each little message is about? No, I don't want to read through 393. That's why you forgot about it. So you don't know what one, but let's suppose you call in, ask you what number. So, well, I think I'll listen to 131. I don't know what that is. And you listen to it, and I get a call. Just what I needed to hear, Michael. And your soul helps you pick out the right one. Maybe you're so angry, upset, you want to listen to 5 or 6, whatever it is. But it's very empowering. Or you might play it on your phone before you go to sleep, and it'll help you. See, because the last thought you have, you review 50, 60 times, up to 100 times in your subconscious. That's why sometimes you go to sleep angry, you wake up angry. You go to sleep happy and joyous, you wake up happy and joyous. If you have a message that's empowering and you feel good about it, you'll wake up that way. So these are just some of the thoughts. And the last thing I'd like to talk about, well, 2 more things. To all of you that are new, please, I offer a complimentary 20, 30-minute session. Take me up on it. Call me. The information is there. If I don't pick up, leave a text message. Right? You can leave something on my answering machine, but a text message. That way I know immediately when you call. Because usually I don't listen to them late at night, which could be anywhere from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning. I put in long days, but I love what I do. So just do that, and that's really great. And the International Institute of Self-Empowerment, which we call TICE, TIICE, it's all about helping abused women, children, and men, and helping them to become entrepreneurs. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. The information is listed with TU, and if you'd like to make a donation, we'll be happy. We've been working on this for several years, refining, and I believe we're just about the point to launch this. And just to let you know that Tio and I don't draw a salary on it or anything like that. It's really meant for the people who will use the money for the beautiful souls. And how this got started was True Source said, set up a nonprofit. I go, okay, you're going to have 12 arms. Okay, what's the first arm? Began working with Tio, who wrote a beautiful book and an experience about abuse. And I asked her if she would be director of abuse, and she agreed to it. So this is going to be a very powerful, powerful thing that'll come into fruition shortly. It'll help use women, children, and men, and I'll talk about it more. But anyway, I just want to lay that background. So one more thing, and that is this is being brought to you by Healing the Holes in Your Soul, the beautiful book by Tia Knapp, and it's all about finding yourself lower than a pregnant snake and coming out like the phoenix, the rebirth of the mythological bird. And what she has found is strength and energy and a way to assist abused persons. She's great. She's wonderful. And, in our conversation, she said, well, I have a college degree in this and that, but really, I don't have a degree in psych or counseling. And I said, you don't need it because this is not to offend anybody, but in the psychologists and so on, they have examples and they use the books to teach and heal people, and it does work. But when you have someone that went through it and came out, that's someone that's an expert that no book can copy, no one can express. Because when she works with you soul to soul, and she works with you companion and love, has a deep understanding. That's what makes her great at what she does. Read the book, and it's great. You can order it on Amazon, or you can contact her directly, and she'll put a little inscription in. Besides, I like the person who wrote the foreword, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, Michael. The person who wrote the foreword is actually the gentleman holding my book. But I highly, highly, highly recommend that everybody start here with the spiritual primer. This book is priceless. This book was the reason I went and called Michael. I said I needed to get a copy of the book. And when I met Michael and he woke up my soul, everything changed. And I knew right away on the very first day I met him that this was a mission and a journey that we're on the rest of our lives and beyond, because this book is priceless. And by connecting with either Michael or myself, in the comments below, we left all our contact information. He will sign a copy for you, as I will also sign a copy for you if that's what you desire. But start here, because he's the he's the true catalyst on how you can change your life. Everything starts with unconditional love, and he teaches us how to find a way to love ourselves, which is so gosh darn important. So thank you, Michael, for all your kind words and all the time that you offer to all of us here on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else you go. These are priceless moments, and I hope that all of you take him up on his 30-minute consultation. It's well worth it. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Please share this so others can join us, because it's all about empowerment and healing and getting through the days to come. I'll be talking about more and more that will be occurring. But remember, all of you, and that is that you are unlimited and that you are deeply loved by the true source, by your guides, your angels and guardian angels, and you're loved truly by us, and there's others. Remember that you are loved, we love you, and you are unlimited. Namaste, everyone. Have a great week. Take care. We love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.